Welcome to our Italy Investor Visa Masterclass, the Dolce Visa Advantage. Over the next 20 minutes, we're going to walk you through how to unlock Italian residency and set yourself and your family on a path to permanent European access. Whether you're looking to spend more time in Italy or simply want a flexible second residency in Europe, this session will show you how to qualify for Italy's investor visa, even if you don't plan to relocate there full time. In the next 20 minutes, we're going to learn firstly, why Italy? Why is Italy fast becoming the go-to destination for global investors and families? You'll learn what's changed in recent years and why so many are turning to Italy for lifestyle, legacy, and long-term freedom. Secondly, the hidden advantages. We'll uncover the real benefits of Italian residency. This isn't just about a visa, it's about transforming how and where you live, work, and build wealth. More importantly, how do we qualify? We'll break down the exact eligibility requirements. If you thought this program was out of reach, you'd be surprised at how accessible it really is. How do we get there? What's the process? We'll give you a clear view of the full application journey, from document gathering, online submission, to approval, travel to Italy, and completing the investment, all within a 3 to 4 month timeline. And finally, let's bring this to life. We'll give you a real case study of how previous applicants have entered into the program. Firstly, now let's take a moment to step back and recap on the broader landscape of residency by investment programs in Europe. There are several strong options available, each with its own set of benefits, requirements, and long-term outcomes. The right fit for you depends on your goals, lifestyle preferences, financial strategy, and also your timeline. If you're new to this, it's important really to understand what is your end goal. If your primary objective is to obtain a European citizenship and you'd like to maintain your life in your home country while gradually building your European position, then we do have some particularly great options in, say, Portugal, which offer a great solution to this. On the other hand, if you're motivated by just lifestyle driven, looking for enhanced mobility, a second home in Europe, across the Schengen zone, or even a foothold for future opportunities, then we can explore all of these options available to you. Today though, the focus is Italy, and more specifically the Italian investor visa. It's currently one of the most affordable residency programs in Europe, with a price tag of 250,000 euros. It also happens to be one of the fastest routes into Europe, with residency typically granted within 3 to 4 months. However, if your long-term goal is looking towards European citizenship, or through this route Italian citizenship, the timeline is a bit longer. Italy does currently require physical presence of 10 years before an applicant can become eligible for the passport. That is why, transparently, we often best position Italy for those seeking a lifestyle base, mobility benefits across the Schengen zone, and just having a presence in Europe, rather than those who are focused on a short-term citizenship timeline. If you're unsure which program is best aligned with your personal and financial goals, I'll always recommend scheduling a one-to-one consultation. We'll walk you through your situation in detail, help you assess the right path forward, whether that's Italy, Portugal, or another EU country. This is not a one-size-fits-all decision. Your plan really should reflect your ambitions and be flexible enough to grow with you. Bringing it back to Italy though, why has Italy become so popular? I think firstly, which is easy to address, is the lifestyle. Italy offers a way of life that's not just admired, it's pretty envied. Known for its slower pace, deep community values, and a 4,000 years of cultural richness, Italy is a country that invites you to enjoy life, not rush through it. It is, after all, the birthplace of dolce far niente, which translates to the sweetness of doing nothing, a philosophy that celebrates presence, relationships, and simple pleasures. Daily life revolves around family, food, and meaningful connections. Coming from a city life, I think it's a lifestyle I'd be pretty happy to endure later on. And it's no wonder if we look at the Italians, they live on average 5 years longer than Americans. Aside from that, the healthcare, it's ranked 17th globally. It delivers universal access and strong outcomes at a highly efficient cost point. For retirees, Italy is a great option, currently ranked 9th globally as a retirement destination. This is probably part in play of A, the lifestyle, but also cost of living. The cost of living in Italy is 50% cheaper than that in the US, in particularly southern and smaller town regions. So you get more for your money and you get a great lifestyle and great sunshine. Secondly are the financial advantages. There are a number of tax incentives in Italy which professionals and individuals can qualify for. Many of our clients, particularly from Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai, and South Africa, have been able to plan their transition in a way that preserves wealth and income whilst giving them tax benefits, all within a compliant framework. And finally, mobility. Once you do secure your residency through the investor visa, you and your family can now have the right to travel anywhere across the Schengen zone. If you stay long enough and get to the stage of the citizenship, you're now an EU passport holder. That's really important. That now opens up your doors to all member states, meaning you have the right to live, work, use the education system in every single European country. So we've understood why it's become very popular. We need to understand what are the key facts, though, to consider when looking at this visa in comparison to, say, other visa options that we have at our disposal. The first and easy one, though, is the investment price tag. It's very accessible, starting at 250,000 euros. As we just touched on, it gives you that freedom of movement across the Schengen zone. So you can now travel freely across to France, Germany, Switzerland, Spain, and more, meaning that you can travel without any additional visa requirements. If we look at, say, some families that we deal with located in Singapore, Dubai, what's the key pain point? It's applying for Schengen visas. You have to give up your passport, you're left in limbo, waiting for a visa to come through, and sometimes it's only available for a 2-week trip in Europe. With the investor visa, you now have access to the Schengen zone of a period of 90 days every 180 days. So in effect, half the year. We've now taken away that burden and that uncertainty by holding that visa. And one of the biggest advantages through this, it's not just you that benefits from this, your family benefit as well. So the visa is available to your spouse, your children who are aged under 18, and also your dependent parents. It's a solution for the whole family, not a solution just for yourself. Obviously, with that visa, you now all have the right to live, work, and study in Italy. There are no restrictions on employment, education access, or business activity. Whether you plan to relocate or simply just want the option to maintain a European base, this gives you all of that and more. One of the biggest drivers, though, particularly for our global families, is there is a no minimum stay requirement to maintain the validity of that visa. This is really particularly appealing for investors who have obligations abroad. They don't have the time to go to Italy for extended periods of time. It gives you that comfort. Your investment gives you the right. You don't have to be physically present. And finally, the process. The process is relatively quick in comparison to other programs, currently at a timeline of 3 to 4 months. And the most important factor here, though, is you do not need to make the investment until after your application has been approved. This is a significant benefit. You submit your documents, receive your pre-approval from the Italian authorities, and only then do you deploy your funds. It's a risk-managed pathway designed with investor protection in mind. So, in summary, if you're looking for a visa that combines flexibility, speed, family inclusion, and financial safeguards, the Italian investor visa is a strong contender within the European landscape, which you can definitely look at. So we've now evaluated the key facts. let's now take a closer look at sort of how do we actually get into Italy through an investment route. This is obviously a very key step in the application process, and understanding your options allows you to select a pathway that best aligns with your goals, whether you're prioritizing return on investment, impact, or even simplicity. The starting point, and probably the most accessible entry point into the program, is an investment of €250,000 into a certified, innovative Italian startup. These are early stage companies registered with the Italian Chamber of Commerce that meet strict criteria for innovation and potential. This route is very popular with investors looking for potentially high growth, or even those aiming to enter at a lower investment threshold. While startups do carry a higher risk profile, this route is particularly attractive for its lower investment requirement and eligibility for full visa benefits. The second option is a €500,000 investment into the share capital of an established Italian company. These companies must be incorporated and operating in Italy with a proven track record. This is often seen as a more stable option for investors who are seeking exposure to the Italian economy with a lower risk appetite than, say, startups. The companies that you can choose from are in sectors such as manufacturing, energy, technology, or services, depending on your personal or professional interests. The most conservative route, though, via this visa is a €2 million investment into Italian government bonds. This option is very suitable for investors who prioritize capital preservation and simplicity. The bonds must be purchased directly from the Italian government and held for at least 2 years. There's no expectation of, say, business involvement or market exposure, as with other investment routes, making it a very straightforward option, albeit at a pretty hefty price tag. The final route, though, that we can explore is a €1 million donation to a project of public interest in fields of culture, education, immigration management, scientific research, or philanthropic sort of objectives. This is, though, a non-refundable donation, so it is really best suited to those who are looking to contribute meaningfully to Italy's social or cultural fabric, or, I think being transparent, have a spare €1 million to just gift away. So those are the routes in which we can invest into Italy. So we've covered why, we've covered the key facts, we've also covered how we can invest. I guess the real question is, how do we get there? What does the process entail in Italy to get us to this end outcome? Now, the process itself is very structured, efficient, and as I said earlier, typically can be completed within 4 months, provided you do have all the necessary documentation in order. Looking at sort of months 1 to 2, this first phase is really all about document gathering and application preparation. During this time, you'll work very closely with our concierge team and our legal partners to prepare your supporting documents. These can include, and not limited to, proof of identity, evidence of sufficient income or financial means, your investment commitment, note no funds are transferred yet, criminal background checks, whether that's in country of residence and country of origin, and also any documents needed to include your spouse, children, or dependent parents. Once all your documents are ready, we will then submit your application to the Italian Ministry of Economic Development via their dedicated online portal. This stage culminates in receiving a nulla osta, which is a formal pre-approval confirming that your proposed investment does qualify for the investment visa framework. In months 3 to 4, though, once you've now received your nulla osta, this comes to the next step, which is to book a visa appointment at your local Italian consulate. Here, we'll then submit your official visa application and undergo a short interview. Once your visa is issued, you'll be able to enter Italy and now complete the investment in which you had chosen at the outset. After your investment has been confirmed, you'll submit your residency permit application at the local immigration office in Italy. And once that's been approved, that will initially be valid for 2 years. It will then get renewed, and that's renewed for an additional 5 years. So all in all, pretty straightforward process. The key thing though is we'll be there every step of the way, holding your hand, making this as easy and seamless as possible. So to help bring the investor visa to life, let's look at a real world investment example using, in this case, the most accessible route under the program, which is the €250,000 investment into a certified innovative Italian startup. Now, when people hear startup, they often think of risk, but not all startup opportunities are high-risk tech ventures. Some are structured specifically to meet the needs of international investors seeking capital protection, predictable returns, and even compliance with the visa framework. In this case, the investment is made into an asset-backed holding company, registered and certified under Italy's official innovative startup registry. The company's business model centers around strategic acquisitions in sectors like hospitality, food and wine, and luxury services, all industries where Italy has a global leadership and foothold in. What makes this opportunity unique, though, is that although it qualifies as an innovative startup for visa purposes, the structure has been designed with investors' security in mind. Key features that we need to focus on is firstly capital protection. Your investment is asset-backed, meaning it's tied to tangible underlying value, not just speculative equity positions. It also offers a guaranteed yield. Investors receive a fixed 3% annual yield, paid out consistently and transparently. This provides predictable income from day one. It's completely compliant with the Italian Startup Register, making it 100% compliant with the investor visa rules. And as we said earlier, just like all qualifying options under the investor visa, the investment is made only after your application has been approved. This protects you from any unnecessary risk during the visa process. Beyond the financials, the company does offer additional perks. This can include things like invitations to exclusive VIP experiences across Italy, from private vineyard tours and luxury events to behind-the-scenes access at cultural institutions. A chance to connect with like-minded global community of investors and entrepreneurs who are also building a long-term lifestyle in Italy. So this investment works because, one, it qualifies for the visa, it offers a modest but reliable return, which has capital safeguards, and it enhances the lifestyle value of your residency. For many of our clients, this kind of structure removes, the guesswork. It's not about chasing risky upside. It's about creating a stable, low-friction entry point into Europe with measurable benefits from day one. If you would like to explore this in more detail, we can always share our schedule link and be happy to find a one-to-one to discuss this in much more depth. So recapping from today's sort of conversation, as I said, we focused on why Italy, why has it become very popular for a number of families. We've discussed the key benefits and the key facts to consider when looking at, say, other European programs. We've gone through what are the qualifying investment types, and more importantly, we've gone through how the process actually works. And as I'm sure you can appreciate, it's a very, very quick process and gets you an outcome which solves a lot of issues straight away. Now, I think it's a great opportunity to just really recap on sort of who we are and how we've helped sort of clients throughout this whole journey. We've helped more than over 350 clients begin their journey to a European residency or citizenship. Our clients are global, so focuses that we've primarily taken on board are non-resident Indians, Americans, Pakistani nationals, Hong Kong, Singapore, and a lot of British clients as well. We are a global team with representation in the Middle East, Hong Kong, Singapore, the US, and also Portugal. And we do have a 100% track record with residency acceptance. Feel free to read our reviews on our website and also watch clients talk about this in their own words on our Marlow Bray YouTube channel, which we'll send a link over to for you. Now, if you're interested in understanding your options more clearly, here's what to do next. Simply scan this QR code or click the link below this video. It takes less than 30 seconds to enter your details. Once you've submitted your information, one of our experienced advisors or a member of our legal team will reach out to you directly. We'll take a look at your personal circumstances, provide a tailored quotation. Our goal is to recommend the best, most suitable and fastest pathway for you to achieve your residency or citizenship goals. I hope you found today useful. As always, it's a pleasure to discuss these things with you, and hopefully I'll speak with you all on a one-to-one basis in due course. Thanks for attending, and see you soon.